Oh, there's a big bass here. Oh, wow, running right into the boulder. Look at this guy skitter across the water. All right. Oh, flip right in the boat. Look at that smallie. Pop the hooks out. Got one on the top of his head, and that's a good way to start it right there. Nice smallie. Release this fish. I'm Roger Cormier from Midwest Outdoors, and one of the things I like the most about smallmouth bass is they're a numbers fish. They're a species that you can catch lots of when you find them. They also are a species that tells you what you're doing with your casts and with your presentations and your lures, and they will tell you if they want to eat more or they want to eat less. So they're a great fish to learn from because they'll tell you if what you're throwing at them is a good thing. I'm going to share with you a couple of key tactics for catching smallmouth bass in northern Minnesota, and one of my favorite places to do it, Crane Lake in northern Minnesota. Stay tuned, this is going to be a fun segment. You know what? He hit like a giant one. He's going to be one of those 15, 16 inchers that wants to be a 4-pounder. There he is. He's not a giant, but that's a nice fish to catch on a topwater bait. Got 2 hooks in him. And the fun of it is, it's not the size of the fish that you're catching, but it's the excitement of catching them on a topwater bait. That is a lot of fun. Look how black that fish is. Let's let him go. All right. Let me tell you about this bait. It's a Rapala skitter prop. The thing I like about this bait is it really hooks the smallmouth well, but also it's a great bait to use if you see any mayflies on the surface, because you ever see those big mayflies that got big wings and that little blade spinning on the back, I think the smallmouth think it's a mayfly, or they're keying on the mayflies, and that spinning prop is just like those wings, and so they eat it real good. Holy cow, he's a jumper. Oh yeah, that's a dandy there. Okay, now look at this. See his lip? That is a smallmouth bass that's feeding on crayfish. He's been banging his face into the rocks, and he's generated a sore there. That's about a 17 incher right there. A nice 2.5 pound smallie. Beautiful fish. All right, here's a wacky style Trigger X worm. And this is a great lure to throw when you've got smallies in the rocks, in the boulders, and they give you an indication that they're feeding on crayfish, either by spitting them up by the boat, or in the case of that fish I just caught, it's got a sore mouth from eating crayfish in the rocks. What you do is you put about 2 feet of Suffix fluorocarbon line on there. Fluorocarbon is ideal for leader material, 1 because it's very strong, but 2 because it sinks. And you want this wacky style worm to sink. Put a swivel in line to keep any twist from happening, and then if you want to fish a little quicker and get down there a little more quickly, just pinch a little split shot right above the swivel. The bass will tell you if they're there. You're going to feel a tick in your line, or you're going to actually see your line twitch or start to move through the water. This is a fish here. All right. Got him. Look at that. Hooked right in the snoot, and that Trigger X wacky worm is hanging right out of his face. And that's what coming up to Crane Lake is all about right there, folks. Big smallmouth bass, beautiful scenery. I mean, we're in Voyageurs National Park. It's a water-based park, and you can explore all this beautiful scenery and this great fishing from any size boat that you want. There's no motor restrictions. You can come up here and enjoy great fishing and explore a national park. Unbelievable. I'm almost speechless. Look at the size of that thing. That is a big bass. There she goes. Wide gap hook, and you just put that wacky worm right on there. And I like these Trigger X soft plastics because they've got some sense in them, some flavors in them that the fish really like. When they grab them, they hold on. I don't know how big this guy is, but boy, did he pound it. And you know what? It's another one of our middle-sized fish. There is a whole bunch of bass behind this guy. This is a good indication. Just seeing that school there tells you got other aggressive fish in the area. You know, folks, I've been coming up to Crane Lake for almost 20 years, and I bring my family up here every year. Resorts and accommodations for every budget. American plan, where you get all your meals included with your vacation, or housekeeping cabins where you can bring your own food and do your own food preparation. A houseboat operation. There's a fly-in base here if you want to go to some remote lakes. Canoe outfitters. There's camping available. Again, no motor restrictions. And just over here on another rock, there's a couple girls climbing on an island. They must have a campsite over there, and they've waded across to this other island. Voyageurs National Park, Crane Lake, Minnesota. A great place to go fishing, and a great fishing as well. Holy cow, this may be the biggest one yet. Under the boat. Oh yeah, got her. This is one of my favorite things to do, come to Crane Lake and catch big smallmouth bass like that. If you'd like to enjoy some great fishing up in the Crane Lake area, you can give the folks a call at the number on your screen, or you can go to cranelaketv.com for information about all the accommodations up here. Plan your summer fishing vacation to Crane Lake. With some dandy smallmouth bass, I'm Roger Cormier. We'll be right back with more Midwest Outdoors. Wow.